I don't have any shoes. I'll admit it. I will brag. Those players did not just go and whip that ass for us to be like, oh, good game. No, we whipped your ass. We took $800,000. Now we're partying with it.
Yeah, who cares if you're in the Power 5 conference if you don't win it, ever? Or you don't beat any of the teams in it? Like, what's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather win the conference and say, like, hey, my team is good, than lose the conference and say, well, our conference is good?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got two teams that got me gassed up. It's going to be a hell of a battle. Be like two dogs fighting over a milk bucket.
Look, they don't call me Tip for nothing. And my tip is, look out for the group of 5 this season. They've been taking it to the Power 5 year after year.
The only quarterbacks that ever get any love are from the Power 5. I could easily list off the top group of 5 quarterbacks I would rather have than those guys. I would be willing to bet that at least one of them is going to be in the running for the Heisman this year.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Group of 5 Guys podcast. It's good to be back here with you tonight. We got to talk a lot about this Eric Church clown, and then we got not one but 2 guests. Coaches coming out of Troy joining us here in a little while, so really excited about them. We're going to talk about spring ball. We're going to talk about, the new coaching staff there at Troy. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are on YouTube. Of course, you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at Group of 5 Guys. And then, as always, make sure you call with voicemails with questions, hot takes. If you want to rant, anything at all, call the hotline at 615-900-4286. And just, let out your feelings, man. But, hey, let's go around the horn, see what's going on with the fellas. Jesse Grisham, as always, it's a pleasure, sir. Pleasure, sir. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good, Sprouse. I was belging on a whiskey and Coke. Came out right there. Whiskey and Coke. Good weekend this past weekend. I've actually enjoyed watching this March Madness tournament. It's been really, really fun to watch. A lot of good games. Sad how Eric Church is the trending on Twitter topic. The guy is just – Jeff said it for the podcast. He is what we're here to preach against. The guy – is straddling the fence. When it's to his benefit to cheer on App State, when App State's winning in football, by God, he's wearing the App State jersey.
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
But if North Carolina's in the Final Four, he's just going to cancel a concert. He's going to cancel a concert, act like he's a North Carolina, born and bred Tar Heel fan. And it's just not right. I think App State deserves better. They do deserve better. They have better. They have Luke Combs. Eric Church, I used to think Talladega was a good song. I burnt the record this weekend. So Eric Church is dead to me. Hell with Eric Church. Hell with him. Go App State.
I like it, Jess. I like it. We're going to get more into old Eric here in a little while. Zeke Anderson, you are 2-time supporting Jeff Murphy's Deli right now with the T-shirt, and you are live from Domenico's Italian Deli in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I'm live from the greatest deli in the state of Tennessee, and I'd venture to even say the state of California and the country. But yes, wow. I am live.
I'm with you.
And if you didn't know, it's 2-for-1s at Domenico's right now.
That's right, baby.
You know what? I'm just going to say it. Has Chris Childers made his way into the deli just yet?
No, he has not.
We are right there, Sprouse. I was just about to ask that question. That son of a bitch. That pisses me off. My guy, don't come on here talking how much you want the what was he
Italian beef.
Italian beef.
He took up 10 minutes for a freaking show talking about Italian beef. Yeah. He didn't come by to Domenico's to get a slice. Or that's just whatever.
He may have came while I was not there, but
we would have gotten a tweet or a text or something if he went there.
Yeah.
So I might text him right now. Well, Jeff, while you're at it, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Sprouse. Just fired up for another episode. Can't wait to talk some ball with the Troy coaches. And, man, you just think you know somebody. You think you like somebody's music. And they just have to go and do something like this and just be everything that you're against. Now I can't listen to Eric Church anymore. It's pretty sad.
No, I know. I didn't even On Sunday, I didn't even go to church anymore. I was so mad about what he has done, and I mean, I gotta find something else to do now. Last but not least, Tyler Tipton. It's good to see you.
Great to see you too, Sprouse. Good to see you, boys. I just want to mention that I am loving the suggestions and feedback that we're getting on our Twitter poll on where we need to go for the games coming up this fall. Keep those suggestions and feedbacks coming because we're starting to get our schedules lined up to where we're going to be visiting this fall. So keep those suggestions coming.
Because
and
I was just going to say, we went to the App State Marshall game at App State, and I actually forgot. I went thinking about it whenever the guy says, hey, y'all should come to Marshall when we host App State. I'm like, well, that's a winner. I know we already kind of saw that game.
It's a damn good game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but we didn't see it in Marshall, though.
We didn't see it in Marshall, and here's the thing. Just let's go ahead and announce to the world right now, just an FYI, there are 5 of us, so we cannot go to all of them. We'll try our best to get everywhere we can, but I mean, my God, I didn't know we were gonna get that response on there. But
it's awesome. I'll tell you what, one that real quick, Sprouse, that I'm kind of looking forward to it is we had a lot of ECU Pirates on there.
Did y'all
see out there, man?
Did y'all see Shaq at
that
Sup Dogs?
Was tight.
I mean, first of all, who knew Shaq was a DJ? But he goes to Sup Dogs, of course. I guess that's how you say it. Hell, I don't know. But apparently they're the #1 college bar in the country, according to Barstool, every year. And they host North Carolina State week 1, September 3rd. So that's interesting. But App State also hosts Eric Church and the North Carolina Tar Heels that weekend. So, I mean, I think we're probably narrowed down to one of those 2 games, but I don't know. I mean, it's.
Have you done research about Sup Dogs? I'll admit, I really don't know anything about it. Like, do they have really good hot dogs? Is that what it is? Hot dogs and beer? And it's just an awesome bar?
I have no idea. All I know is Shaquille O'Neal went there and did like a full-blown concert / like day party.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it looked like back in the day when what was that club in Panama City? La Vila.
Club La Vila.
When they were on MTV doing all the spring break stuff. That's what it looked like out there.
Well, it might be embarrassing. They may not even serve food. It might just be a place to.
Yeah, I have no idea.
My fat ass thinks of hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dogs.
Well, let's get to this Eric Church guy, right? So for those of you that don't know, I'm sure everybody knows, the guy cancels a concert in San Antonio, Texas, so that he could go watch his, quote, beloved Tar Heels play against Duke in the Final Four. Now, I have no problem with being a Tar Heels fan. However, you graduated from Appalachian State. And that's where the problem comes in. And I don't know how many people I don't know what it was in San Antonio, I believe. So probably the Spurs. What is that? I don't know where they play these days, but I can't 20,000 people, I'm sure.
Yeah, at least more than that, probably.
I mean, God, I mean, as much as I would never root for Duke ever, I mean, I found myself a little part in the back of my head was rooting for Duke just because of that scenario.
Well, we talk about it all the time. I mean, if you're going to be loyal to a school, be loyal to the school that you went to, that you graduated from.
Right.
Like, I just don't understand these people that go to one school and wear another school's colors, or graduate from a school, but yet I'm going to root for. I mean, they might not be rivals between App State and North Carolina, but to me, I went to Middle Tennessee. Every other school in the state of Tennessee is my rival. I'm never going to cheer for any of those teams, especially Tennessee. So it's like, be loyal to where you came from, or just don't show up. Don't be an App State fan. That's just,
and here's the thing too. Like, there's no problem. Like, if he, let's say his dad went to UNC or he grew up in Chapel Hill. I don't know. And like, in the back of your head, like, let that be your #2 team. If North Carolina's playing Duke, sure, I'll root for North Carolina, whatever. But I'm not gonna cancel my whole life plans because of a school that I didn't go to. Yeah. Especially when I went to a school in state. So it's not like let's not sit here and pretend this guy went to App State because they had some specialty degree that he couldn't have gotten at North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know why he went there.
There's a story about this family in Texas. They graduated from App State. Their kids went to App State, but they were all based around Houston, Dallas, and they went to San Antonio for this concert. They spent like 12 tickets on this concert, huge App State fans. When he canceled on it, they couldn't get their refund back. And so they were out around like $1,400, maybe $1,500, and they were punished because he canceled on them and went to this North Carolina game. And the husband also lost his job a week before that too. So Eric Church just really destroyed this family.
Wow.
Reagan Holmes, Eric Church. Damn it.
I made all that up. But I'm sure somebody was deeply impacted by this concert.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing about it. Have you seen that he rescheduled some it's supposed to be some intimate private concert? Do you know what date he has rescheduled this concert for? In San Antonio, keep in mind. September 2nd, which is the Friday night before North Carolina goes to Boone and plays App State. Now, call me a conspiracy theorist, but maybe old Eric is a little bit nervous to show his face around the parts of Boone, North Carolina right now.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to head over to San Antonio and do an intimate concert. And he's
I'd love to go to the game, but I got a concert. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. He doesn't cancel the concert for that.
Honestly, to me, that might be even worse. To schedule your concert the day before that game?
Yeah.
He would rather miss the App State North Carolina game than miss a Final Four, which, granted, did they win? Yes, but it wasn't because of Eric Church, by God. It was not.
No. Eric Church. Well, and I guarantee you when he's one of those people that when football season's around, he knows that App State is more of a football school, and then he puts a North Carolina hat on during basketball season, and then he probably puts a damn East Carolina hat on during baseball season.
Yeah.
He's one of those. I mean,
there's a
East Carolina's really good at baseball, in case
Go
you were
for it,
wondering.
Zeke. What were you going to say?
No, I was just agreeing with you saying the front runner.
Oh.
You know, there's a chance that the Tar Heels could slip up and get beat by the old Mountaineers.
Shoot. I don't even think they need to slip up. They're going to get beat.
Yeah. I documented on Twitter. I said 17. I'm going to stick with it. 17.
Is that a stack of money you just showed the screen there?
Money. No, I lost it all this weekend in Duke, North Carolina. This is a phone charger. I'm about to pawn this off to get some money.
I thought you were waving around a stack of ones there.
That's my name on it.
That's cute.
Oh, man. But on a serious note, that does make you appreciate the guys like Luke Combs, like Cole Swindell at Georgia Southern. You know, Luke Bryan is kind of got a little Eric Church in him. He went to Georgia Southern, but he doesn't rep it around like Cole Swindell does.
Yeah.
You know our boy Gavin Adcock's going to do that too. So, you know, hey, it is what it is, man. But Eric Church, we don't like you. I never really did. I don't even know what he sings.
He's got some pretty good songs out there, man. It's going to be hard not to listen to him on Spotify. I know Zeke usually jams out to him on the lake, so it's going to be hard to hit skip on that, Zeke. We're going to have to. You're going to do the best you can, bud.
Nah, I've been repping some Morgan Wallen recently.
There you go.
Morgan Wallen, he would not cancel a concert to go watch Tennessee play. He might.
He might. I sure hope he wouldn't, but he might. Well, so we got guys coming up in a little bit. We got Troy coaches. We got head coach John Sumrall and tight ends coach Evan Mckissack coming on here in a little while. Funny enough, old Evan played against Grisham here in high school, but speaking
I'm fired up. He was a Hoover Buccaneer, and me and him, we were rivals, and we actually started hanging out quite a bit in your year. And I'll tell you what, me and him, we had some times, you know, personally, socially, we've had some good experiences, but great football player, and he walks on to Troy, and I was impressed because he's a short guy. I'm telling you, short, but he's stout. He's like a whiskey barrel, and he's a really smart player. I'm telling you, and he was always really strong. Guy ends up freaking getting like all Sun Belt his senior year, second team. So and he knows his football. Y'all just whenever he talks, he lives for the sport. And he
what did he play at Troy?
He played center. So he played center at Hoover. He played center under Rush Probst as well. Everybody knows Coach Probst. He
Real
played
winner
under,
there.
Played with Coach Probst, and then he got a scholarship to UNA, which is eventually about to be a Division I, being Group of 5 here for long.
Yeah.
Then he transferred to Troy and walked on, and got playing time his senior year and started and got a scholarship. But the thing about Troy is that what I love about Troy is when we played, it was one of the bigger rivalries, right? In the Group of 5, in my opinion, Middle Tennessee versus Troy.
Battle for the Palladium.
We always played them on ESPN2 or ESPN on Tuesday nights.
Always a Tuesday. Yeah.
Always a Tuesday night. Big game.
Well,
we have some experiences on those Tuesday nights, haven't we?
Yeah, Zeke. I mean, you remember that, don't you?
How can I forget?
Care to elaborate?
I will elaborate. So we ended up on the not top 10 on ESPN because now I got a story to tell. I got to defend myself. So everyone says it was my fault. Well, I'm getting up there. We're running a quick count, which means ready, set. You run up there and you try to snap it before they have an opportunity to blitz the gap. Well, the ref will not allow me to snap the ball. Won't allow me to put my hands on the ball. So everybody else is set. And as I bend down, as soon as I touch the ball, PT Philip Tanner played for the Dallas Cowboys. He was our running back at the time. Also the personal protector. Says, ready, set. And I'm like, I don't have a grip on the ball. So the ref says, offsides, the entire offensive line. They play that clip. They play everybody jumping off sides except for me. And I'm sitting there holding the ball and I hand it back to the ref. And they play that on ESPN. And it is played on the not top 10 over and over the next day.
Watching that play from the stands was hilarious because all you see from the stands is the entire line start backpedaling and moving backwards, and Zeke's just sitting there, and he doesn't move. He's just sitting there holding the ball, and he doesn't move for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden he finally stands up and goes back 5 yards. It was hilarious.
Two things on that.
And everybody's like, snap the ball, bro, snap the ball, and I'm like,
it wasn't your fault.
I didn't even have. You want me to dribble that bad boy back there, and even look like more of a fool, or you want to take 5 yards and kick it again? But yet, I took the blame.
It's more like they played it for like a week or maybe even a month because what they said was false start everybody except for the center. So that was it was like the referee, like something he said that was like pretty funny. It was pretty funny false start statement. But two, how often does that happen on a yearly basis in college football where you see someone not top 10 or something happens in a game where you automatically just assume that one player is at fault when in reality it's several. Remember, there's that one play that they made fun of. I think it was a Florida offensive lineman, I think, and they snapped the ball and he just refused to move. He actually thought that was part of a play. They thought that he was rebelling. He was rebelling against the team. No, they actually told him. And there's plays out for wide receivers or not blocking or not moving. It's all part of a game plan. Now, Zeke, I don't think it's part of the game plan. It was just a lot of miscommunication. But it's just a lot of things happen. Everybody's looking at Zeke like, wow, this guy can't even snap the ball time. Well, there's always more to the story.
There is
I didn't have the ball in my hand to send it 14 yards back.
All right.
I got to one hand that bad boy.
Please.
Great news, everybody. If you go to the YouTubes and you search false start everyone but the center, there is a compilation of all of these, and if you go oh, hold on.
Tell me you found it.
Oh, I found it. If you go to approximately minute, hold on here. Where are you at here?
It's impressive, Sprouse. You found that so quick.
If you go to about, good Lord, there's a lot of them now, surprisingly. You got San Jose State and Hawaii. Yeah, 100%. You go to about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Coach Stock is pissed.
Dude, Troy was really good that year.
Yeah, Troy.
We got our ass beat.
in case you were wondering, there's 3:49 left in the third quarter. That Troy was up 21-7.
When we were at MTSU, Troy was a very respectable program, and they were also really respectable when we went to the Conference USA. They dropped off just a little bit, but I think they're on the rise again. They've always had good athletes. I'm from Alabama. Not saying I'm a good Alabama athlete, but there are players in that Birmingham metro area that Troy recruits out of. They always got some guys on that field who can compete. I mean, hell, was it like 4 years ago? They beat LSU right before Joe Burrow got there.
Yeah.
They can play, man. And thanks, Sprouse. You put it on Twitter. They're your sleeper this year in the Sun Belt.
Well, I know
that year we went 10-3. We lost to Maryland, Mississippi State, and Troy, and beat everybody else.
Yeah, but I think Troy beat us the worst of all three losses. I think Troy beat our ass.
They did.
Troy historically, you're right, Jess. They do a really good job of getting the guys that are not quite the Alabama guys.
Yeah.
They do a really good job of getting the Hoover, the Spain Parks, what Mountain Brook's really good now. And then all the guys down in Montgomery that they can get to go to Troy. So they always, I mean, hell, they had how many DNs they got that are NFL Hall of Famers, for God's sake.
Yeah, no, they got some really good players. Their defense is always loaded.
Yeah.
Damn, that's true. I forgot about him.
But we're gonna get some coaches on here. We're gonna see what they're looking for. I know they got Carlton Marshall coming back for another season. So there's your edge rusher. That's the NFL guy again for Troy. But we'll talk to them about that. Talk about what we can expect out of spring ball from them and what they got to do to get Troy at the top of the Sun Belt again. I told you we got not one but two incredible guests coming on with us here tonight. We got Troy coaching staff. We got head coach John Sumrall. I'll give you a little rundown of this guy here. He's got coaching stops at Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tulane, and San Diego College. Played at Kentucky, led Kentucky in tackles circa 2004, and was an academic All-American. Coach Sumrall, welcome to the Group of Five Guys podcast. Thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate you having me. Probably the two most entertaining parts of that intro is academic All-American and anything. They set the bar really low.
Well, that was SEC, you know.
Yeah, it's all SEC, which really means you went to class. And then the other thing is led the team in tackles at Kentucky. I used to tell when I was back at Kentucky coaching linebackers, I made sure the guys understood I didn't really tackle anybody. I tripped a bunch of guys. Like I was not fast enough to get my head in front of the ball carrier, so I was laying out swiping ankles.
If you were there in 2004, was your quarterback what's his face, the 300-pound quarterback?
Yeah,
what's his name?
Yeah,
dude, that guy was fun to watch.
Yeah,
you had to go get him a spring ball.
Lefty, the round mound, the touchdown. Yeah, that was the guy, man.
He better not tackle if he's running the ball. Jeez.
Yeah, he could have led y'all in tackles and knocked down blocks and everything.
Well, I know you guys will appreciate this with your Middle Tennessee ties. We were in 2002, I think, playing middle at home, and we ended up winning by like 3 scores, but it was like a 1-score game at halftime, I think, and at halftime, Jared got hit the last play and didn't really budge because he was bigger than the dude trying to hit him. But then he tried to start a fight at halftime. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, this is not.
Oh man,
it's not a good idea. And so he's out there throwing haymakers, and I'm like, this is not going to go well. But so we got into a fight with middle right before halftime. I think it was 0-2.
That guy was incredible.
I like it. And then definitely, last but not least, tight ends coach Evan Mckissack. Now, not only did this guy play at Hoover High School and beat up on our boy Jesse Grisham for a few years there. How about this? Former walk-on, turned into an all Sun Belt center, and not to throw you under the bus here, at 5'10", 256, according to the record books there. And another academic star, magna cum laude. I don't know if I said that right. Graduated from Troy. So, Coach Mckissack, welcome on, man. Thanks for joining us.
I tell you what, I guess it's those books made me stronger, hauling them on my back. You know what I'm saying here, Jesse?
Evan's definition of size doesn't matter. That's like that was his tombstone.
That's right. It took me about 12 years to find my wife. Man.
Evan was a center for Hoover High School, and we got to battle it out. more than a couple times, and he always came out on top. So, Evan, congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Jesse. I'll tell you what, though, we did scarf down some food towards the end of our junior and senior year together. We did always win victoriously on that.
No doubt. Me and Evan were blessed enough to have the same friends, and we were able to get closer in our senior year. And then when I was at Middle Tennessee and he was at UNA and Troy on our holidays and stuff, we were always linking up together in Birmingham. So it's been fun keeping up with you, Evan, on your coaching path, because I have you, and we have a couple other friends that are now position coaches at the Group of Five. And it's awesome seeing really just the networking y'all have as coaches. We're just seeing it from the outside, but these interviews we're having and the way y'all are all connected. I mean, Coach Sumrall talking about how he knows Will Healy and all these other coaches. It's really cool. The coaching network, it's real. It's real.
Yeah. It's also cool or interesting to see, you guys like you guys become, Division I big time college coaches. And then, our group of scumbags that's, trying to stay relevant in the football world. We wear a shirt and tie every day to work, but
we do this to go to the football games and drink beer, and it just gives us something to do. This is a hobby.
Yeah,
we're just hanging on.
That's right. Yeah. Trying to stay in it. Well, Coach Sumrall, I'll start with you. So it's your first head coaching gig. You're at Troy. You got a new staff, first spring ball. Why Troy, and how excited are you, to get going on this first season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm originally from Alabama. I grew up in Huntsville, and I was an assistant here when Neil Brown got the job in December of 2014. I think I was Neil's probably his first new hire on his new staff, outside hire, and so I was the co-defensive coordinator at Tulane at the time. Neil called, asked if I'd be interested in coming to Troy with him. I've known Neil a long time, back to when I got recruited to Kentucky. Neil was a walk-on on the team there. And so got here in December of 14. I coached here 15, 16, and 17. Me and my family loved our experience here before. We loved everything about this place, the university, the community, the town, the region, really embraced us, and we love this place. And then Troy, football is important here. I think, and everybody takes pride in what they do, but Troy, back in the 60s, won an NAIA national title. In the 80s, won 2 Division II national titles. In the 90s, when they moved up to FCS, we're in the 1AA playoffs almost every year. And in the first year, transitionally, moving up to the FBS 2001, with Coach Larry Blakeney as the head coach, went to Mississippi State and beat Mississippi State in Starkville. And so excellence on the field has always kind of been the standard here. My last year here as an assistant, I was the assistant head coach, linebackers coach, and special teams coordinator before I left. And we beat LSU at LSU on their homecoming. And so this place has always kind of had the mantra of being giant killers and playing with a chip on our shoulder. And I think one of the things that makes Troy unique and cool is guys like Evan Mckissack, who maybe were overachievers or maybe didn't have some of the measurables that the Power 5 schools would look at or find desirable. Our starting Mike linebacker right now, Carlton Marshall, he's 104 tackles away from setting the NCAA record for career tackles in a career in Division I football. And he's 5'10", and maybe some of the SEC schools when he's coming out looked at him like, he's a little too short, he's a little too that. But all he does is tackle the guy with the football. And so really, I had a great experience here previously. Loved my time here as an assistant, and really believe in this place, and excited about the opportunity to have my shot at being a head coach, put a staff together, develop a culture, and set the calendar for what I think can create success.
So how'd you link up with Coach Mckissack? How'd that come about?
That's a great question. So I'd known about Evan previously because of his time here at Troy when I was here before. But really, my most intimate experience with Evan was I went to the University of Kentucky, got hired there after the 2018 season, and Evan was the graduate assistant there working with the offensive line the offensive line coach at the time was a good friend of mine and obviously a mentor to Evan named John Schlarman. And so John was the O-line coach here at Troy when Evan played here. And so John played at Kentucky. John was a GA at Kentucky when I played at Kentucky. And then John was Evan's position coach here at Troy. So I get to Kentucky and Evan's the O-line GA for Coach Schlarman. And so John really raved about Evan, and I had a chance to work with Evan during that time and got a chance to watch him firsthand be essentially what was like the assistant O-line coach at Kentucky. And he'd always come in and pick my brain about defensive stuff or recruiting, or I saw a young guy that was hungry, that was really developing himself and being the best he could be as a coach, and his energy, enthusiasm, it's obvious, and it wears off on people. And I think his authentic passion for helping players develop really stuck with me. And when he went to Murray State for a couple of years, I was proud of him, watching him continue to grow and develop as a coach. And when this opportunity presented itself here, he was an obvious fit for what we wanted to build at Troy.
Him being a Troy alum, and then two academic superstars. Is that what really sealed the deal for you?
Yeah, two high caliber students, regardless.
Two
of
Ivy League guys.
Traits. Just our academic prowess is really what drew us together.
I'm pretty sure, Evan, you were Mr. Hoover, weren't you, your senior year?
Oh man,
I'm pretty sure he's Mr. Hoover. He's always been a little Mr. Academic guy. But I'll tell you what, I guarantee you that you were one hell of a recruiter, because you would sell me all the time on things I didn't want to do, and I'd be like,
you would end up joining.
Next thing you know, I'm in the front seat. It's like, how did I get here?
I'm gonna tell you right now, though, you talk about recruiting or build relationships. Coach Sumrall is the man on that. I would take pictures of stuff. So I'd go into Sum's office, and it's like his office was right next door. At first, I was like, I always tried to mess around and like would beat on the deal, because the wall was like right over was his office. And then I'd go walking in there, and he's like always was grinding away on tape. But then it started watching him recruiting and stuff. I'm like, man, like just Coach Sum was a freaking dog in recruiting. And it wasn't because it was like an act. It was like, all right, I'm building relationships. And he knew exactly everything about a kid, their family, to the school, to what type of freaking food they like to eat. Like when they came on campus, it was like, all right, we're going to eat barbecue, that kind of deal.
Yeah. I was saying this earlier. I can't remember if it was on the show or if it was just off air. A lot of people don't realize the talent that Alabama has, especially in that Birmingham metro area. You have it ain't even really about, everybody talked about Hoover High School back in the past. Now you got Thompson High School. You have and help me out here, Evan, if I'm missing some out. You got Mountain Brook. You got North Alabama as well.
There's a ton of them surrounding Birmingham. And then the city schools are producing players too. I mean, the inner city schools of Jackson Olin and all those schools, man. We're so blessed to be in a state where high school football matters, and we got great high school coaches in the state, tremendous talent. The state of Alabama the last few years has been one of the tops in the country for per capita players in the NFL. And so
say it again.
Like pound for pound, we got really good high school football.
Well, I know that whenever we would play Troy at middle, I mean, they always had guys. They always had guys that would play harder than anybody else that we would play against year in and year out. And Coach Mckissack being, an alum, what kind of, drive does that give you? You're coaching at the school you played at. So if you can, talk a little bit about that.
Man, it doesn't get better than this. I think when it's just like, Coach, like he coached in the bowl game. He took the head job here, but he played at Kentucky. Like that same passion, I think it's kind of the same passion I have being a coach here too, is that I played here. And so it's like, hey guys, I freaking wore what's on your chest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there comes like, you got to have a freaking great attitude. You got to have the discipline to do the right freaking things. Coach preaches it all the time. But I think I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's like, I mean, you remember all those times, like there's nothing like the locker room. That's where you forge all those friendships, all those memories. The first thing I did when I came back here, and the facilities are freaking way nicer than what it was when I was here. But dude, I walked straight into that old locker room and I just sat in there. Like I just sat in there. I was like, man, I could just remember some of the crazy stuff and the things that we would do in that locker room. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How pumped are you and were you to see the facility upgrades?
Oh my gosh.
Y'all are still
I
upgrading,
cannot-
aren't y'all? Aren't there like a stadium is currently being done, or is it already done?
Oh, it's
Yeah, the stadium, so Veterans Memorial Stadium, they've expanded and added, and we just my last year as an assistant, we had our north end zone building, which houses our entire football operations, was being built. I left, never actually worked in it, and had never been in it either. And then when I got hired in December, the first time I stepped foot in it was then, and it's state of the art. It rivals several SEC programs, to be honest with you, the football facility itself. So you're constantly evolving, adapting, improving. But our operational facility that we house football out of, I think it's one of the top in probably Group of 5 football. I mean, it's way up there.
I think the state of Alabama gets it because obviously you have Alabama and Auburn, but I checked out UAB's this past season, and their facilities are also state of the art. And I'm excited to get down to Troy and see exactly what upgrades have been made, because you got to have it. You got to have the facilities. You got to have facilities that's going to bring the players on, not just the coaches, but you got to have the facilities as well.
Well, it's good, you know, Coach Sumrall, you brought up like the community and the university having that investment in the program, and like it's coming to fruition. So not only are you guys both building all these relationships with the local high school coaches and players, now you get them on campus and they see the stadium, they see the weight room, the locker room. I mean, that's gotta make your job a little easier.
Oh yeah, no, it's about people, but at the end of the day, it's a whole lot easier to sell a vision or show how important a place cares about football if you've got all the bells and whistles to put on the forefront. That makes it a whole lot easier. And it is about building relationships, but those facilities show your commitment and investment to the well-being and the development of all your players.
Yeah. So Evan, you know, we joked about you being a little undersized, if you will, turning into an all conference player. So how do you use that coaching your position group and then really along the whole offense?
Well, you just got to be good at holding and getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, it's technique. It's technique and fundamentals. I mean, it's like, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, the cool thing is like, I think when you know a team's heading in the right direction, like those guys start wanting to be around you more. They want to start like being a sponge, you know, and then you give them the ownership piece. Like, I think that's the biggest, like, once you like start learning how to have the right technique and fundamentals, you're like, oh, I get this. You know what I mean? I mean, back in the day, like you're in a spread offense, you freaking just run stretch, and you're like, why are we throwing this bubble out here? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like things have evolved. And so I think like you start with the why, like, hey man, this is why you got to do this. And then you show them on tape, they walk, talk. I mean, it's huge. And that the thing is like Coach said, being a giant killer, man, you got to be a freaking master of your craft when it comes to technique and fundamentals. You know what I mean? And so
Evan was a huge technique guy. I'm not here to, you know, worship you, Evan, because I was always better than you. But he was a very, very fundamental player. I would always remember him, watching him in high school and watching him in college. You always had hands inside, always low. I mean, 5'10", you had the advantage. Lowest man does win. And you would get pancakes. He'd be pancaking 300-pounders. He had heart. That's what it's all about. It's heart. And I'm sure he's teaching that to his players every day.
How close is Hoover and Spain Park High School? Like, is it like neighborhood away?
Yes. Spain Park's in Hoover. And
459.
Spain Park is just right. Hoover got too big, and Spain Park was the new public
school.
It's
like a 2004. Yeah. And not to be honest too long, but like the third stringers for Hoover High School in like 2005 could be first stringers in other schools in Alabama, but it was just too big. So they expanded. And we finally got Hoover in 2016. That was the first time.
Y'all got the
Shane
forfeit
Park
in
beat
2007, though. You got the forfeit there.
That's true. Actually, I did get that. I forgot about
You
that.
did
I
get
forgot
that
about
one.
that. We got a win because they had forfeited and we went to the state championship. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate it.
Let's go. Put that down on the win column. When you get
Poster
the,
behind me
the
there.
trophy, when you get the battle for the trophy back, Troy Middle 10
man.
now.
Dude,
Well,
I-
you know,
yeah,
that's
favorite
what I was
rivalries.
saying. Like that was such a good rivalry back in the day, and it just went away. And man, I don't know.
Conference
It'd be
realignment.
out of
Yeah,
conference.
that's
It'd be
what it
out of
was.
conference rivalry now.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was always a good game.
Well, y'all got. I mean, it's funny because we were at Middle when we made the jump to Conference USA, and now you're looking at most of the Conference USA powers, the Marshalls and our Southern Miss are kind of coming back to the Sun Belt. So let's talk about number one, how good the Sun Belt is. I mean, the teams that jumped up have been good right away. App State, obviously, Georgia Southern's always competitive. So how do you get Troy back to being the top dog in the Sun Belt? And then just, how good is it overall as a conference?
I think it's recruitment and development. How do we get back? You got to select the right players to be a part of what we're doing. Guys that love football. I think no matter what level you're at, I don't care, FCS, Group of 5, Power 5, NFL, the more a guy loves football, the more he's going to invest in his own development. And so we're recruiting guys, and they have to have a certain threshold of talent. But it's really important for us guys that love football, working at their craft. And then it's on us to make sure we're developing them to be their best in every area of their life. We're into I'm big on this whole person development thing where better people make better players. And so I want our guys to be first-class humans in the classroom, spiritually, socially, and I want them to be freaking bad dudes on the football field too. And so we're pushing the envelope on being the best we can be in every area possible. The Sun Belt really has stepped its game up. I mean, I think you look at everybody in this conference has improved, and it's a challenging league. It really is. There's no, you look at everybody. What Coastal Carolina's done the last few years. When I was in this league last, you look at Coastal and go, all right, we should win that one. And now what they're doing is so impressive, what they've been able to achieve. And so the league as a whole, the expansion, the realignment landscape did the Sun Belt well. I think it helped strengthen and bolster what the conference brand is. And it's a competitive league. I think it's an exciting league to play in. I really do.
Sprouse, not to put the spotlight on you here.
Oh, boy.
My brain can't comprehend it because there's too many moving parts. Who is all going to? You said Marshall,
Southern Miss,
Old Dominion, and James Madison.
Yeah.
And when does that become official? Is that
Right now.
2023?
Yes, now.
Or 2022?
Yeah, it's
Oh, so they're on
they-
your schedule already.
they just made a statement.
Conference USA tried to come out with a schedule, and then those teams were like, nah. And then Sunbelt came out with the schedule, and then like yesterday, maybe, or the day before, I think Conference USA made a new one.
So you mean to us, Hope Middle Tennessee, like they made a Conference USA schedule with like Marshall and Southern Miss on, and then they had to redo their schedules?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're scrambling right now.
Wow. That's nuts.
I'll tell you, man, James Madison is going to be like, they're going to be like the App State that just right away is really good. And you're like, what the hell, man? Like, I think it was you, Jesse, like
Have
3-4
you
years
been to
ago.
their campus?
No, where Jesse was driving, I probably to Jersey, and you were like, Sprouse, look up this school real fast. I'm driving by a stadium, and it is awesome.
It's
and
beautiful.
It was James Madison.
Yeah.
But
James Madison's really good. They've been an FCS power, and they're a great addition. I think the league is challenging. It's going to be fun. The competition is going to be high.
Yeah, top to bottom. It's
something about Sunbelt
stout.
football. Like that is like college football to me now. Like that is real
Amen.
college football is Sunbelt.
Amen.
I mean,
it's like the traditional historic programs that their towns care about football, and no offense to Conference USA or the American or whatever, but those are like they went, we'll go TV market, and then it just nobody goes to those games for the most part. And Sunbelt's like the old school, like traditional teams, man. It's like
Well, I think you see it too when you go to these games. Like we go to these games, it's a different feel. You go to these Sun Belt games than it is to Conference USA or some of the other ones we've been to. And I mean that's just a testament, to the schools that are playing in it, in the league that has added these fantastic teams to it. Coach Sumrall, what do you think about that area? Just how did you get the fans so invested, into Troy football?
Well, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. It's always been a winner, and so this fan base is passionate. We're very unique in regards to we're not a very big community. We're one of the smaller FBS football playing cities there is. And so we've got the type of community where on a Saturday, you're going to do one thing. You're going to come watch Troy play football.
Yeah.
And so the fans have always been involved here. The passion's always been high. We're doing everything we can to be engaged to our fan base, include them in what we're doing as a new staff. And but this place has always cared about football. I mean,
That's awesome.
it's something that's a fabric of the university. It really is.
So what do you going into y'all's first year as a staff, going into spring ball? What are you looking for? What's your hopes there?
We want to compete every day. We want to battle. I mean, I think the biggest things you got to build culturally is we're going to play anyone, anywhere, anytime, and we're not going to back down. And there's going to be some good days and some bad days in the development of what we're trying to do as a program. But I want our guys to compete all the time. And we're doing that through spring. I'm excited to watch our growth each day. We got a long way to go, but our guys are buying into what we're asking them. And it's been fun to watch. But we want to compete every day. And I don't care. Look, I got an 8-year-old son, and I play him in tic-tac-toe or horse. I try to kick his butt every time.
Amen.
I want our guys to be wired the same way. My son, he had a baseball game tonight. They lost by 9 runs. He comes off and he's moping, and I'm like, dude, quit whining. I ain't got time for it. We're going to compete all the time. And he looks up at me, he's like, but Dad, we lost. I'm like, yeah, so what? I've lost before. He's like, no, you hadn't. I'm like, no, we lost 3 games last year at Kentucky. And did I come home and whine? No, I freaking got up the next day and figured out we're going to kick the next team's butt. So I want our guys to understand every day you compete your tail off. I don't care what you're doing, who you're playing, how many people are there. Fight your butt off to kick somebody's butt.
I like it. So you get Carlton Marshall announces he's coming back. So number one, how good of news was that for you when you first get there? And then number 2, how much you rely on a guy like him to kind of lead the team going into spring?
Yeah, that's a good question. So kind of a cool story. I recruited Carlton to walk on here when I was an assistant before I left to go to Ole Miss. So he's one of the last guys I recruited, and then I left. And really been cool to see what he's done here. A lot, he walked on here. When we had signing day that year, I got a bunch of calls from Division II coaches at West Alabama, North Alabama at the time, Delta State. And these guys are chewing me out. I can't believe y'all take him. He'll never play for you. And I'm like, that's for us to decide, not for y'all to decide. Thanks. And he came here. He's been extremely dedicated and worked his tail off. One of the most instinctive kids I've ever been around in regards to just seeing the game. And probably the most fun thing right now watching spring practice is Carlton really step up and take on a big-time leadership role. He's always been a good player. He's always handled his business, but right now, watching him call out our guys on defense that need some accountability, what he's bringing to the table there has been fun. And so he's a big-time player. That's the best recruiting job I've done since I got in the job here, was getting him to come back for one more year. And really excited to watch him play this season.
And then, Evan, is that just a real pain in the ass to have to go against him every day?
Oh, man. Dude, let me tell you something. That joker right there finds his way in the backfield. Coach ain't lying, man. Instinctual. That dog will hunt. Let's put it that way. Carlton.
I tell our linebackers coach all the time, Taylor Polk, he was a walk-on at Ole Miss right before I got there. And I tell TP all the time, I'm like, hey, you're doing a really good job coaching number 2. That's Carlton Marshall. I'm like, you're doing a great job. I think he was terrible before you got here, but you fixed all his problems.
That'll be on his resume for the rest of his coaching career. Led Carlton Marshall to an all Sun Belt. Yeah. Well,
I'm just making sure. Like, he's more of a DN, right?
No, he's an inside backer.
Inside backer? Does he ever does he rush the edge on defense, or is it just linebacker?
No, he's a stand-up inside backer. We're multiple. I mean, we're 3-4, but we do some 4-down stuff too. And he's an off-the-ball inside linebacker. Plays Mike and Will.
Okay, understand. Okay, I was about to say, because if he was a DN, I was like, Troy has just become like DNU, because like there's always freaking great DNs at Troy.
We've got a couple on the roster right now that I think are going to be really good players that have a chance to play in the NFL potentially if they keep growing. And, you think about edge rushers from here, DeMarcus Ware and Osi Umenyiora and all those guys. But we got a couple on the roster. I'm not going to shout them out yet, but I think they're getting there.
That's what spring ball for.
You don't want to compare somebody to DeMarcus Ware just yet.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not quite. Well, I always try to give the last couple minutes to you guys to, give a shout out to recruits or fans or whatever you got going. So start with you, Evan. Give your 1 minute elevator pitch or whatever you want to say, man. It's all yours.
Well, I'll just put it to you this way. Coach Sumrall called me. I think it was like January 15th, whenever the national championship game was. I don't remember anything else after what he said about coming down to Troy. I was there 7 hours later. So can't put a price on being here. I'm excited about what we're about to do. The freaking passion, energy. I mean, I don't know about you, Jesse. I'm surprised you haven't ran through a wall yet after hearing that speech.
I'm sweating, bro. What are you talking about?
See what I'm saying? Okay.
Armpits are wet. I'm ready.
Yes.
I am fired up for fall. It's like
And
football.
big guys don't realize, but big guys, we always wear the pullovers just to hide the sweat. Okay. I've seen you in your little sweatshirt type
I'm
deal.
constantly sweating.
The tracksuit,
Your velvet get up. But no, hey, man, there's no better place than Troy, Alabama, and Troy football. The fans freaking love it. Coach Sumrall does a freaking unbelievable job. Number one, for us as coaches, developing us too. I mean, there's not a day that goes by where we're not trying to get better too, along with our players. And then, we break it down on family all the time. Well, Coach has this thing at the end of one practice every week. You get 2 guys that stand up and talk about each other. They have to break bread with each other. They have to eat with each other, and they get a new partner each week. I mean, I just love what we're doing here. It's bigger than football. I think all the stuff we're doing right now, you're going to see the long-term results of it here in the future. So,
I love it, Coach Sumrall. You got anything to top that or what?
No, I'm not going to try to top it, but I appreciate what you guys do. Truthfully, covering the group of 5. I mean, y'all said it earlier, but the Sun Belt to me is college football. I mean, look, I left here and I went to Ole Miss and I went to Kentucky. When there was a Sun Belt game on, I was watching it if I could watch it. I love this league. I love this level. It's a great place to coach. We've got unbelievable kids that play the game at this level. It's a fun brand of football, and we're very fortunate and blessed to do it at a place where people care about what we're doing. We're ecstatic about the situation we've got, and the fan base here is passionate. The community is passionate. And I think every day I kind of pitch myself. I'm like, man, this is real. I'm the head coach at Troy University. It's a dream come true for me. Honestly, I'm from the state of Alabama. I'm back home and get to be a head coach in my home state at a place that cares about football, that expects excellence, expects championships, and really grateful that y'all cover it. I mean, I think that to be able to shine the light on what our guys and our programs do at this level, I really greatly appreciate that y'all do that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys like you, man. You guys are awesome.
We have fun doing it. We go to Troy University. We tailgate. You'll know we're there.
Y'all are always welcome anytime. Come hang out. We'll roll out the red carpet. We'll drink some beer, bourbon,
Hell yeah.
whatever you like to drink. We'll drink it with you and hang out and have a good time.
Is it too short a notice to say we come in 2 weeks?
Oh, come on,
Y'all
man.
want
Let's
us to?
go. I'm sitting in my office here at the house. I got all my bourbon right here in my office in my house. You come hang out anytime.
We're going to the spring game, so
Yeah.
come on.
You better check everything out, man.
We got a
Yeah.
big day planned, man. Come on, come hang out. We got a couple of our guys on our staff from Kentucky that are coming down for it. It'll be fun. We got a 10 a.m. I guess they're calling it a fun run. It's like a mile run, and then we're doing a 12 o'clock lunch with legends where Coach Blakeney will be, Chan Gailey will be there because Chan Gailey was an assistant coach here. Jarrell Jernigan, I think Lawrence Tynes might come. DeMarcus Ware, he's to be determined. He might come and not want to speak, but he might just want to come and hang out. And then we're doing a youth camp at 2 o'clock for about an hour, and then the game's at 4 o'clock. And then after the game, we'll have a good time.
If I run the fun run mile, can I be on the sidelines for the spring game?
You don't have to do that. You can be on the sidelines either way. You can be on the sidelines either way.
That's fine. I was going to run a block and get in a cab and meet you at the finish line
that.
anyway.
I won't put you through that.
Perfect. Now we can't wait to get there. We haven't
Fired
announced
up.
it yet, but we're announcing it now. So we're going to go to the Troy spring game, check out some
Check
Troy
out
fans,
everything.
See what
Awesome.
it's all about. We all want
We're
to see the facilities and
excited
everything.
y'all coming.
Well, man, we appreciate y'all coming
Yeah,
on.
thank
man.
you so
it means
much.
a ton, and I love that. I'm sure Troy fans that listen are gonna love it. And y'all got a damn good team coming up here, so be ready for it.
Yep.
Y'all are Sprouse's sleeper this year. I know you might want to hear that.
That's right.
but he's-
There you go.
You're the
That's
sleeper in
right,
the Sun Belt
Sunbelt
this year.
sleeper. I got you.
I love it.
He's
I
got it out on
appreciate
paper right now.
Yeah.
Guys, appreciate y'all coming. Evan, thank you so much for
Yeah, brother.
helping us get this lined up. And, like I said, man, proud of you, buddy. I can't wait to see what all y'all do this year and the future years at Troy University.
Let's go,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all in
Yeah.
a couple weeks.
Yep.
Now.
Sir. I tell you what, Troy Trojans got me fired up, guys.
He just seems like the guy that is amped the F up at
Hell
practice.
yeah.
You know he is getting those boys ready to roll.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, I
man.
was just getting fired up listening to those guys talk, and just especially Coach Sumrall, man. He's just got that aura. He's got that vibe about him, and it's just infectious. I could see that with all of his players and his coaching
You want to
staff.
see a pregame speech with him.
Ain't no
for
doubt.
sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was like sitting there. They were talking about the facilities and everything, and I was like, we could probably wait till the fall. Nah, I want to go see all that stuff.
Yeah,
ASAP.
absolutely.
But
It'll be worth it. It'll be good.
yeah, man, definitely. We appreciate y'all coming on, Coach Sumrall, Coach Mckissack. Jess, that's your boy. Thanks for lining that up. Guys, that's all we got for you tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Group of Five Guys. And then y'all call the hotline to give your questions, because we will ask your questions to the coaches when we have them on. It's 615-900-4286. Like I said, just call, give your hottest take, ask a question to us, rant on us, tell us how much you love Eric Church.
I'm
Whatever you
still
wanna do.
waiting for somebody to call us out. I want somebody to call
Scared.
in and just call us out so we can go back. And
Well,
forth.
Jeff, you put out your QB list today, and some people were a lot of people loved it, but some people were hot. Of course,
well,
the
you
App
know.
State fans were pissed that you put Chase at 6 and not in the top 5.
They always
but-
get a little salty, you leave their guy
They
off.
don't.
But
They don't know that you taught Chase how to look off the single high safety.
I'm not going to go that far.
Ale
But
house.
me and old Chase Bryce had a few words at the old ale house that night. Few of which I remember, but it was still
To
a
be
good
completely
time.
honest, I think you had a few words. He was kind of just like,
He was like, "Who the hell's this guy?"
but hey, in Jeff's defense, I think he listened to him, and a few weeks later,
Yeah,
he
he
just
sure did.
smacks. What was it, Coastal?
Yeah,
Sure
he
did.
sure did.
Yeah.
He sure did. Well, anyway, guys, we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. Group of 5 guys. We're out of here. Thank you so much for watching.